A lot of us have heard or read about the Justin Trudeau's economic statement. It wasn't a budget, but it was an economic statement. And when you do some research into it, you don't even really know how much was promised. So we need to find out for you. Jasmine Moulton is with the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. She joins me right now because we want to know. I mean, I've done a lot of research on this. First of all, how much money did they promise this fall?
So total spending will be over $600 billion, I think $641 billion, which, Stephen, means that Justin Trudeau is spending $1.8 billion every single day.
Can you answer on what?
No, and I don't think that the government actually can answer on what. There was $100 billion worth of spending that will only start once the economy starts to recover. So there's a lot of people scratching their heads around that.
Well, I'm scratching my head. I didn't pull my hair out. But Jasmine, if you say you're spending it on subways and buses and trains and stuff like that, people get that. But when they say it's on program spending and on relief for people who don't have the jobs, people understand that. But there's that big gray area where there's billions of dollars going.
It's almost like a fire hose that's just going so uncontrollably that they don't know how much money is even coming out of the pipes. Catherine McKenna lost track of tens of billions of dollars worth of infrastructure spending. So even when they say that they know what it's going to, there's a lot of waste in there as well. And on the CERB payments, as we saw, that increased household incomes in some cases by more than 13%. So it wasn't just replacing lost income, it was actually greatly overcompensating. It was too much spending.
And we're hearing about a lot of Liberal-related companies who are getting more money than they ever had before. They're getting great dividends. So what's the average Canadian to make out of this? Because they say, well, we need help and we need some more money, but what's the impact? Why is the Federation against all this spending?
Because debt today means taxes tomorrow, and the federal debt is about to surpass $1 trillion. Stephen, this is historic spending. In all of Canada's history since Confederation, Trudeau will double the national debt that we accumulated in all of that time by next year. He'll have doubled the national debt, and this will all have to be repaid back, if not by this generation, then by future generations of taxpayers.
No, to that, somebody could say, if they were an NDP or something, so what? Money will be cheaper in 2 generations. It'll be easier to pay back.
I don't think it gets much cheaper than it is right now. And that's another problem, is that much of this debt that they're taking on is not long-term in nature, meaning that it will be subject to interest rate hikes in a couple of years.
So it's going to be even worse when it's compounded in a few years' time when reality hits.
Well, when you look at interest payments, for example, we're spending federally over $20 billion a year. That's more than Ontario spends on its post-secondary every year. So for people who care about programs and who care about the next generation, they should really be holding this government's reckless spending to account.
I hope they do. Thank you very much, Jasmine. 3 minutes. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I hope you subscribe through YouTube and check the description below for Patreon to keep us on the air.